Okay, where are we now, Greg?
We're at North Avenue in Paulina. And I'll tell you, one of the natural progressions, and a nugget you can take here today from me for sure, is that watch how these commercial streets have gone. North Avenue's gone crazy, Damon's gone crazy, Milwaukee is up and happening. Division is one of the hottest areas in the country. And the next to go is Chicago Avenue. It's got nice wide sidewalks, it's got a good building mix, you've got some lower prices there.
Division, to my eye, and I don't spend a lot of time there, but I was there a couple months ago walking from, I walked from Ashland west to Western, and it looked like it was slipping back.
Well, Ashland west to Western is not what I'm discussing. That is where you go into Humboldt Park, and that is trying. But I'm talking about between Ashland and Western.
No, that's what I've said. Ashland and between Ashland and Western. There were a lot of vacancies creeping in
no,
there.
there's vacancies, and that's, well, it's very hard not to have vacancies when you have so many commercial spots. I mean, and that place is filled with them. But and it's a natural progression. Like they've always said, running a restaurant successfully is one of the toughest things you can do. You know, 8 out of 10 or something fold. Well, I think we've had good staying power here. And that's one of the things my wife and I are committed to. We used to go all over the city to all kinds of restaurants, and now we really try to do 80% of our eating out in our own neighborhood to help these people, you know, survive. Because we love how great all these different. Now we're going to go down here. Remember I told you I had a client of mine who.
Now we're technically down at Wicker Park.
We're in Wicker Park now. But in Wicker Park, I'm going to show you the building that. This is one of those classic situations where a woman who was not a realtor at all got her real estate license so she could save money on her commission. She missed the boat on her price. Probably, my guesstimate was $100,000 at the time. But this building here on Elk
meaning
Grove,
she overpaid by that much? Or?
No. She bought it right here, 1510 Elk Grove. It's a 4-unit parcel.
Back up again so we can take a look at it.
The woman who had the listing didn't really realize, and she owned it, she didn't really realize the value. And my buyer and I came to a conclusion of the value. But this has been a fantastic situation for my client. It's a legal 4-unit building. It was built probably 12 years ago, and the rents have gone from, she had the rents at like $900 to $1,100, and I told my client at the time these rents are going to be $1,800 to $2,200, and sure enough, he's getting $1,800 to $2,200 now. So that's a real moneymaker.
How is the rental market in Bucktown? We went past a sign earlier on North Avenue that was offering 4 months free rent.
Well, that was on North Avenue, and that is a commercial space.
Okay.
Commercial space and residential, totally different beast. Where the residential, and it's like anything. You can ask anything you want for a property, and you can ask anything for a rental, but if it's market rent and you've got a decent product, it rents really fast. This is a good one to show you. This is called the Urban Sandbox.
Oh, yeah.
A woman named Karen Ranquist,
yep,
and her company did this. She is an innovator, and she is so smart and fun to work with. I sold a single-family house with her, and look at what she's done here. She has taken this now.
They've built some very innovative single families.
Yes, and beautiful contemporary, high-end, gorgeous. This was very controversial in the neighborhood.
Vacant land there. Is that second phase for Urban Sandbox?
Yes.
I remember.
And what's going on here is a lot of people were very upset with the old alderman, Matlack, because of the way the zoning was changing, and certain people would be able to get their zoning and they couldn't. And now with the new administration, that is not at all happening. Matter of fact, it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction to being overly tough. I like a mix between, to tell you the truth, because we want to convince businesses to keep coming. We want to convince developers to keep building, and that's what makes us vibrant here in Bucktown. These units here, these are single-family houses. A client of mine had the potential to buy these 4 lots, and he was very leery about doing it. And I explained, I went over to his office and brought all the comparables and showed him why he had to build it. One, when you can get exceptions. So see how close these buildings are together? Mm-hmm. Well, they're a lot closer because you can give yourself an exception. exception. And then you can have more width inside.
So you don't have the 3-foot side lot?
Right, you don't have the 2.5 to 3 foot side lot, and you're able to do this. Where these actually sold very well. They sold starting at 1.1 up to, by the time he was done, about 1.3. They've had a couple resales recently. Now they're about the same prices that they sold. It's kind of been flat for them. But, and that's because there's so many other choices now, where when he built these probably 6 years ago, there weren't so many choices.
It's an unusual painted cornice up there.
Yes. Yes, I love the old cornices. Like, you can see how beautiful that is. On this next building, the brick building, the cornice is gone.
Yep.
It's sad. Like, here's one of those little single families I told you, they kind of look out of place now. And I've always thought that this corner would be a great one to buy, to build up. I love corners.
Where does something like that sell for now?
Probably $550.
Okay.
You know, kind of land value-ish. These buildings had a fire, and now they've just, this is a renovation, and this was a normal 2-flat or 3-flat, and now they've done all this work where it totally fools you. But that keeps the tax base down because it's not new construction. New construction is more. The new construction, you can figure you're going to go about 1.75 to a little over 2% of your sales price. Will end up being your taxes. Where on a renovation, it's 1.25 to 1.6. Here, these 3 lots are owned by the same owner-developer. He thought he had a sushi restaurant to move in there, and that's fallen through. But he holds tight and waits. I tried to explain to him, why don't you keep the rents going? He thinks it's more of a headache. I think it's cash flow.